Thank you, and welcome to the Renfrew County Housing Corporation meeting. It is Wednesday, November 13th at 1:01. I'd like to call this meeting to order. As we gather today, we acknowledge on behalf of the County of Renfrew and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Omamawinini Algonquin people. We thank the Omamawinini people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of Indigenous peoples who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Has roll call been taken?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and we have quorum.
Thank you. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? I see none. Recommendation that the minutes of the October 16th, 2024 meeting be approved. Moved by the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Killaloe Haggerty Richards. All in favor? Carried. Recommendation is that the minutes of the October 30th, 2024 meeting be approved. I give a mover, please. Moved by the member from Head Clare-Mariah, seconded by the member from Pembroke. All in favor? Carried. And we'll go to the director's report, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the Renfrew County Housing Corporation Board. As this is our last meeting of 2024, I just wanted to take a moment to thank this board very much for their support of staff. We've had a very busy year with a lot of changes and new initiatives, and I know I speak for all of those sitting up here with me. We really appreciate the support and dedicated efforts of this board. Through you, Chair, to the board, I'll start with item number 1, which is the Treasurer's Report for the Renfrew County Housing Corporation as of September 30th, 2024. Just taking a look at the financials, really not a lot of anomalies to note to the board. Things are on track. Really, the only items that we are seeing spending outside of what was expected is in the 2 lines that you'll note under the expenses section, under building, so the repairs and maintenance line, as well as the capital repairs non-TCA. So both of those lines are overspent by over $300,000 each, and I think that may come as not a big surprise to this board, as we have been talking about the escalating costs and the aging units and our growing needs around both planned and unplanned repairs and maintenance. Moving on to item number 2 is the Community Housing Capital Projects Update. In Mr. Raddat's absence, Mr. Lazary is here, and perhaps with your indulgence, Chair, he could overview the capital projects status for this board.
Yes, please. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. Just a few minor updates. We've completed another 3 or 4 jobs in the last month as construction season ends. We are deferring 2, 3 capital items until next year, just due to overspending on the unplanned capital and emergency budgets, just to help set that off. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And through you, Chair, to the board, item number 3 is an update on our supportive bridge housing at Carrefour. So as noted, the construction is progressing very well and is nearing completion. I had the opportunity to be at the facility on Friday, and things are looking very, very good in that space. There are a few outstanding items, including some of the security doors that are expected early next week. And my department is busy with obtaining some of the furnishings and getting the rooms ready for occupancy, which we hope to be towards the end of the year. As noted as well in the report, we're reviewing options for a grand opening, and we'll certainly be planning attendance for the appropriate ministries. Moving on to item number 4 in the report, an item under the delegated authority approvals. So this item is the design build at 135 Francis Street in Renfrew. The board will recall this was approved by the board to proceed with a project around removing the single-family home from that property and replacing it with a triplex. And this has been awarded to Williams Sons in the amount of $824,993 plus applicable taxes. And this was one of the projects as well that was given pre-budget approval by council at the October 28th special meeting of council. And I'll stop there, Chair, prior to going into resolutions.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to information item number 1. Are there any questions or comments on the treasurer's report? Seeing none. Item number 2, community housing capital projects update. Member from Killaloe, Haggerty Richards, please.
Thank you, Chair. First question I have is, will the capital projects be brought forward to next year, and will they remain a priority, the ones that were taken off this year?
Ms. Patrick, we'll go.
Thank you, Chair, and through to the board. I think probably the question would be best answered by Mr. Lazary or Mr. Davis.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. Yes, they will still remain a priority. We've also had the building condition assessments completed this year that have also provided us with some other high priority items. Thank you.
Supplemental?
Thank you, Chair. If we were to take those 3 lines out of that budgeted line, what does our line look like then?
Mr. Lazary or Mr. Davis?
Thank you, and through you, Chair. Yes, we'd definitely review that. We'll take those 3 items out and review. Again, we like to take into consideration any emergency work that has come up through the year and try to be diligent with our capital budget. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on that? No. Item number 3, the update on supportive bridge housing care for. Member from Petawawa, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. This is great news to hear that it's, everything's falling under schedule. I guess the question I have is, do we have a plan going forward once this opens? How are we determining who takes occupancy of these rooms? What's the process? And
Ms. Patrick?
Thank you, Chair, and through you to Councillor Service. It's an excellent question. We had a discussion about this on Friday with some of our community partners. So the supportive bridge housing is certainly part of our greater Mesa wellness initiatives that we're working in collaboration with community partners. Currently, we have a transitional housing model, sort of a pilot model happening in Renfrew at the Rocky Mountain House. And we have 10 rooms that we have been having a collaborative approach to occupancy through our Mesa team. So multiple agencies have an opportunity to be at the table in terms of determining, the right fit for the rooms and a number of criteria around what place the person's at in terms of their wellness journey. So our hopes through the Mesa initiative in its entirety is that we have a number of options for, better supports to reach individuals and, appropriate options to support people depending where they're at in their journey. Hope that helps.
Supplemental?
yeah, thanks for that answer. That's great. And just as a supplemental, so are we going to have some type of waiting list?
Thank you again, through you, Chair, to Councillor Service. We will be using our by name list, which is our enumeration list of individuals who are experiencing homelessness. Our supportive housing will be prioritized to meet the needs of individuals that are experiencing homelessness and of the individuals that are currently unhoused. Again, depending on whether they're maybe awaiting, health treatment or medical treatment or substance abuse treatment or coming out of treatment or perhaps needing a different form of support. reports, we will determine whether the best fit for them is at Care4 or perhaps one of our other supportive units. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on that? No? Okay, item number 4, the delegated authority approvals. Mr. Kelly, please.
No, thank you, Chair. Excuse me, I'm just a bit of a tickle. So I just wanted to thank staff for this item on the agenda. And I'm not sure if Mr. Davis is ready or not, if he's able to, but this is a significant departure from what we've been doing, and I do want to congratulate everybody involved in this. So as committee may recall, we've talked about this, and this is the building in Renfrew where we're putting basically a 3-for-1 concept together, where we've taken an older building that was past its life expectancy, and have made arrangements for the current tenant to be relocated or being relocated at the time, or at some point in the future, and the building being removed and a whole new set of 3 buildings in place of that one. So the staff has gone out and got a design ready and gone out to tender on it, and has actually even sold the building that the land that was there. Someone bought the house from us. Instead of us demolishing it, it's actually going to make use of the house that was on the land that was there. So it was a nice little, it's almost a 4-for-1, if you will, right? I mean, that house is being reused. Someone's going to make use of it somewhere on their own property, or will be doing that. And then we'll be moving forward to these 3 units. So what the authority does is that we did come in our budget. Hopefully we'll start some of the construction work this fall. We'll see how that goes with in terms of move out and moving the building and getting the ground prepped and everything else. But this is a great story that should be celebrated as we move forward. That this is hopefully will be one of the models that we can utilize on some other lands. I'd also point to, although it's a bit of a departure from this item, the DMP committee, and we don't have it as an item in this committee today, yesterday approved a new way of looking at how we could build houses in the future on our own land and our own restructuring through a municipal services board or a municipal services corporation. That would basically be a new department, if you will, or a new subset department on creating a team like our public works team that would actually go out and start rebuilding houses on our lands and using municipal lands as marketing aspects and using that to better our stock of housing and replace and rehabilitate our stock moving forward. So again, congratulations to staff for thinking way outside the box on this one, but I think this is great movement moving forward for our housing inventory. Thank you, Chair.
That sounds great. Certainly when you increase threefold, it's good news and a lot more housing available. So I imagine at council there will be a presentation concerning this municipal services.
Yeah, it'll be to you, Chair. That is a piece of information we'll bring forward to council. And I'm just looking at Mr. Davis if he doesn't have the graphic. Do you have the graphic ready of what this is or not?
Through you, Chair. So we do have a graphic if you allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, if you don't mind. We'll show you at least what's going on in Renfrew, and then we can talk more about the greater plan at County Council later on. It's a big house. It takes a long time to load sometimes in the graphics, so it's okay.
Thanks, CEO Craig Kelly. I appreciate that. So I've started sharing my screen. So I don't have a before after. So once this is, I assume, will come up shortly. What you see on the screen is from the request of proposal to redesign a single-family detached. As Director Patrick mentioned, this is the proposed layout of the lot. So again, it used to be a wartime house, and now we're trying to fitting on the same lot location, lot size, 3 units. And then when we scroll down, if I may, you see the simple design of the interior. Again, a little tough to see, and I'll try and blow it up a little bit. for the typical view of it. So it's a single family detached, converted to a triplex, slab on grade, small patio at the back, individual driveways within that, again, that lot footprint. So I think it's a good bang for our dollars to move forward and using the funding that we have available to us. So thank you, Chair.
Looks great. You said, though, that the house was sold. Will it be on the same property, or is it being picked up and moved away?
Through you, Chair. So another great example of actually thinking outside the box, and I'll give full credit to our CEO, Mr. Kelly. Typically, like what we did at 202 Cecil, we would actually demolish the building, take away the debris to a dump, basically. In this situation, Craig asked us to think outside the box and say, why can somebody else reuse the building at a different location? Lifting that building up, taking it away from the lot. And with that is a cost savings on our end. And I think we made a little bit of money, Mr. Lazary. We made a little bit of money or broke even, but it didn't cost us to do the demolishing. So it's a great reuse of a building, as is, where is. And again, we're not actually decreasing the number of units in the town of Renfrew. We're actually increasing overall by 3. So thanks, Chair.
That's great. Thank you. Any other comments? A member from Pembroke, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question as to the lot size itself, and has there been any support from the province in regards to the talk about affordable housing? And here's a wonderful projects taking place. You've added a couple of additional units for people in need. Lot size and any cash flow coming towards a project of this nature. Thank you.
Mr. Davis?
Through you, and again, looking at Mr. Lazary for the lot size itself, so we have those dimensions for you shortly. Again, working with Jennifer Dabrowski and working with our existing envelope from the province of COCHI funding, the majority of that is coming from the province. So the province is still our partner in this endeavor. We always look for them for the next step for us. From the province and the federal level is a consistent design. So right now, this is a design that we've kind of looked at and was proposed by the winning contractor. But what we'll be looking for from the province and the federal government is a universal pre-approved design, which will help reduce some of the costs moving forward. So thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? None? Okay, item number 4. Just did that one. Okay, so we'll go on with resolutions, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to the board. So the resolution number 5 is bylaw number 1, revisions. May I go ahead and read the recommendation, Chair?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to the board, the recommendation is that the Renfrew County Housing Corporation Board of Directors update bylaw number 1, being a bylaw relating to the conduct of the business of the local housing corporation, to reflect the increase in the number of directors to 17 in alignment with the proposed County of Renfrew procedural bylaw, and that staff be directed to review the current bylaw number 1 in its entirety and bring back any recommended changes to a future meeting of the Renfrew County Housing Corporation Board.
Could I get a mover, please, for this? Moved by the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Killaloo Haggerty Richards. Background, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to the board. So the background information on this item is that in reviewing bylaw number 1, when we went to update the number of directors from a maximum of 13 to 17 to align with the proposed County of Renfrew procedural proposed bylaw, we noted that the bylaw number 1 for RCHC, which was passed in 2004, is very dated, and there are a number of things that do need to be updated, including some of the procedural pieces and some of the legislation. So we're recommending that we take the due time to review it in its entirety and bring back any other updates, as well as the change to the maximum number of directors.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this? Mr. Kelly?
Chair, just, sorry, and this is entirely my fault. So Let me just clear, and you did a great job with that. It might be more than 17. We just have to, because the 17 is the member of council members, and then we've got members from Pembroke, and it's the new procedural bylaw where it's either 1 or 2 members of council from the city of Pembroke. So it may actually be to a maximum of 19. So with a friendly amendment, if we could just say 19, and then if it changes between then and now, if you don't mind, if it's okay with the mover and the seconder.
The mover and the seconder, that's member from Petawawa and Killaloo? Yes, that's fine. Could you make it more, instead of putting a number, could you maybe wordsmith it a little bit differently so that if there were to be more members from Pembroke, because we still haven't passed the procedural bylaw, right? I'll leave that to you, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just really about the bylaw number 1, and just item 3.01, which refers to the directors, is that we could actually just change the wording to the board shall consist of members of the city and all members of county council or something like that.
Yeah.
We could wordsmith it that way in case there's a different composition. Okay, we can work on that.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions, comments on this? No, all in favor? Carried. Okay, could I get a mover to accept the director's report, please? By the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Clare Mariah. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and we'll go to the manager of community housing, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Through you, Chair, to the board. Information item 1 provides an update regarding this most recent quarter's community housing registry waitlist. Cumulative applications are now at 1,654, marking a growing increase. The trends remain consistent regarding number of bedroom size required based on applicant type. Information item 2 provides information on move-ins, move-outs, and internal transfers for this last quarter. And again, very consistent with what we're seeing month over month. Information item 3 provides an update, a quarterly update regarding landlord and tenant board applications and notices. And again, no marked differences to comment on. Information item 4 provides an update regarding the Emergency Minor Home Repair Program. This program is funded through the Homelessness Prevention Program, and for the fiscal year of 2024-2025, $150,000 was allocated to the program. The program is now closed, having reached its maximum allocation, with 25 applications approved for funding for amounts of up to $7,500 each. To date, 14 invoices have been paid, totaling just over $92,000, and 11 repairs are currently in progress, and we are anticipating the submission of those final invoices. Compared to the fiscal year of 2023-2024, there has been a marked increase in uptake for this program. In the previous year, only 13 applications were approved, totaling just over $69,000. Information item 5 provides a quarterly update regarding arrears within Renfrew County Housing Corporation. There are 2 reports attached for your reference. The arrears include unpaid rent, maintenance, and miscellaneous charges. The attached arrears comparison report shows that arrears as of September 2024 compared to September 2023 are slightly lower by about $5,000. And just to note that staff are continually working with tenants to help reduce these charges where possible and collect these charges where possible. Information item 6 provides an update regarding the collaborative effort between Renfrew County Housing Corporation and the Pembroke Regional Hospital for a hoarding and high content support pilot. For your information is an attachment that provides a summary of all the activities that have been underway for the period of April to September. Next up would be a resolution.
I'll go back to the information items first. So any questions or comments on information item 1, the 2024 third quarter community housing registry waitlist? Seeing none. Item 2, the 2024 third quarter move-ins, move-outs, and internal transfers comparison. None. Item 3, the landlord and tenant board notices and applications. Seeing none. Item number 4, the emergency minor home repair program. Member from Petawawa, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. It's a great program, and it's great to see that it's getting more use for this next fiscal year. I'm just wondering, in the 2023-24 year, where we allocated $150,000 as well and just didn't use it, and what is the reason for the uptick in applications? Is it easier now, or are there just more people applying? Has it been advertised better? Why the uptick in applications?
Ms. Dombrowski, please.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the board member. We don't know exactly why we've seen an uptake. It is a great program, and I know based on the applicants that I've been aware of that it's been very meaningful, and it's made a difference in their ability to be able to continue living safely and affordably within the homes that they own. It's something that we will need to look at very carefully, and I think we will have an opportunity to do that even though the program is closed. I will speak to the opening of Ontario Renovates and how quickly that program goes, and the type of applications that we may see may provide us with some good information to base decisions on how much is allocated to this program on emergency minor home repair within the upcoming fiscal year.
Supplementary?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So just for my, just for clarity, I guess, if we are given 150 and we don't spend it all, does that money remain within the Renfrew County? Do we keep that money, or does the province just keep allocating until we use it all? And if we don't, the province keeps it?
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the board members. We are quite fortunate in the design of the homelessness prevention program funding, and that as a service manager, we do have a degree of flexibility. We are able to prioritize certain programs, and when we see programs, have higher or lower uptake, the flexibility is in that we can then allocate those unspent dollars to another initiative. So I know that's exactly what we did, and the shortfall that was anticipated to be spent was allocated to the emergency services that are delivered through the Ontario Works program for housing.
Member from Killaloe, Haggerty Richards, please.
Thank you, Chair. Today's all about dollars, isn't it? First question I have is $7,500. Is that enough for an individual for a repair? I think that would be, you're on site, you're looking at it. Can there be more done, or are you really comfortable in that amount?
Thank you for the question. Through you, Chair, to the board. Great question. What I have seen is that for some people, $7,500 has been enough, and for others, it hasn't. I've seen examples where roofing repairs have cost much more than that, and we were not able to approve an emergency minor home repair application because of that, because the amount that was required far exceeded what the grant cap or the funding cap could allow. However, for others, they have less expensive but yet very meaningful projects, such as conversion of a bathroom to meet accessibility needs for our low-income homeowners. So yes and no. Of course, in the area of supporting low to moderate income homeowners, if there was more funding through various levels of government, I think that would be great. However, we are trying to make the best do with the limited funds that we have.
Supplemental.
Thank you, Chair. I think once this becomes more visible to the public eye, I think the awareness and people will start tapping into this more often. So maybe it's something that we need to look at increasing our budget down the line because of the popularity of it and what can be done, and and who actually needs it. So just a point. It wasn't really a question. So.
Thank you. I have a question. So the 7,500, that is set by the province, not by us?
Thank you, Chair. The amount is set by the County of Renfrew through our
it is.
service planning and how we determine homelessness prevention program funding will be spent.
So there could be some flexibility if you so choose, or you see the need for it?
Yes, certainly. If the board or if council was to recommend that we re-look at our strategy for homelessness prevention program funding, we definitely could do that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions on item number 4? No, we'll continue. Item number 5, the Renfrew County Housing Corporation rent arrears. Seeing none. Number 6, the Renfrew County Housing Corporation and Pembroke Regional Hospital hoarding and high content supports. Seeing none, I'll ask you to continue with the resolutions, please.
Thank you. Resolution 7, the recommendation is that the Renfrew County Housing Corporation Board of Directors approves the implementation of the Ontario Renovates program effective November 18th, 2024, utilizing the funds currently available and the associated revolving loan account.
Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by the member from Killarney Haggerty Richards, seconded by the member from Head Clarebraya. Background, please.
Thank you. This program was originally funded through the Investment in Affordable Housing way back in 2011, and this funding continued from 2011 to 2019, and service managers were provided with an option of delivering a variety of supports to improve affordable housing strategies. The County of Renfrew chose to offer the Ontario Renovates program along with the Affordable Home Ownership program. And Ontario Renovates was offered in 2012 and then again in 2019. What this program does is provide a forgivable loan for a term of 10 years for qualified low to moderate income homeowners. And should the term end for a variety of reasons, say the homeowner moves or sells their property, then a prorated amount is owed back to the county. And as part of the funding rules between the province and the county was required to establish a revolving loan fund to collect back the prorated amounts on the defaulted loans. And we have done that. In 2019, we were able to offer the Ontario Renovates program through funds that were recovered through the revolving loan fund. And we are in a position to do that again in 2024. Currently, we have just over $236,000 available for this program, and we anticipate to be able to help roughly 15 to 20 households. This will really depend on the amount of funding that is requested and approved. A point of difference from the 2012 and 2019 programs is that we're seeking this board to approve an increase to the funding. Previously, the Ontario Renovates program offered $10,000 per applicant, plus an additional $3,500 for accessibility or modification type retrofits. Now we're looking to have the program offer up to $15,000 for essential home repairs, plus an additional $3,500 for other accessibility related modifications. And the reason that we're looking to have an increase of $5,000 to the program is that through both previous iterations of Ontario Renovates and the emergency minor home repair, we were seeing an increase in the amount of need from homeowners. We were seeing high contractor and material costs, and that many applications were not able to be funded because of the extent of repairs that were needed. So it is our hope through increasing this fund maximum that it will be able to help low to moderate income homeowners with essential repairs to help them stay within their homes safely. To qualify, household income must not exceed $90,400, and the home value must be under $375,000, and assets must not surpass $20,000. And additional information regarding eligibility along with the application is found within the attachment. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions or comments on this? Member from Killaloe, Haggerty Richards, please.
Thank you, Chair. Is there duplications between the two funds? Between the emergency one and this Ontario one? Is there duplications as far as people? Like, can someone apply for one and apply for the other?
Ms. Dombrowski, please.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the board. Great question. So the programs in and of themselves, although they, are similar, do not duplicate. And one of the the best example of that would be that the programs are quite often not provided at the same time. So we attentively watched the budget for emergency minor home repair, and then when we saw that the program was going to be closed, we took a look at the revolving loan fund for Ontario Renovates and then decided to offer it. But to your question, is it possible that a person, could receive both emergency minor home repair and Ontario Renovates? Yes, they could.
Supplemental?
Is that something that we want?
It would depend, sorry, through you, Chair, to the board. I guess that's subjective. There is value in permitting applicants to be able to access more than one fund. And although we are looking at factors such as completeness of application and financial qualification, we are considering level of hardship and the types of eligible items that can be approved are not cosmetic. They're critical type repairs. So it could be relevant that a homeowner receive funding from one program and then after a period of time receive funding from Ontario Renovates as well.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Carried. Continue with item 8, please.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the board, the recommendation is as follows: that the Renfrew County Housing Corporation Board of Directors approves the implementation of a local prioritization rule aimed at reducing homelessness, referred to as the Mesa Community Housing Prioritization, to take effect as of December 1st, 2024.
Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Pembroke. Background, please.
Thank you. The County of Renfrew's 10-year homelessness and housing plan framework highlights the urgency of reprioritizing existing resources to support those with the greatest level of need now, while also focusing on the longer-term goal of increasing affordable housing and support options. A key recommendation from this report was to revise the current chronological access policy for community housing to prioritize households experiencing chronic homelessness. The county's plan recognizes that a targeted needs-based approach is essential for effectively supporting those who are most at risk. Mesa Community Housing Prioritization, a local priority for chronic homelessness, will provide recovery-focused pathways and options for individuals in need of housing with supports. By prioritizing those who have achieved a degree of stability through bridge housing or supportive hotel stays, Renfrew County can provide a housing center solution that fosters long-term recovery. This model underscores the county's commitment to reducing homelessness by ensuring that individuals with the greatest needs have a clear route to lasting and stable housing. To qualify for Mesa Community Housing Prioritization, a household must be registered on the by name list, actively participate in recovery efforts, demonstrate the ability to live semi-independently through bridge housing or hotel stays, and obtain approval to join the local priority waitlist from designated staff within the collaborative Mesa team. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this? Member from Petawawa, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you, I think this prioritization is great. We need to get the individuals who need it the most into those into the housing. I'm just wondering, in the end, who makes the decision? Is it a board, a group of people, an individual? Who decides who gets access? Who makes the priority list, I guess?
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the board. The decision makers will be a collaborative Mesa team that would include community services staff, staff from Pembroke Regional Hospital or McKay Manor, those members of the Mesa team that we are currently working with in prioritizing other service options for the clientele. And it will be designated staff, so once we are closer to December 1st, we will, ensure that those who are the decision makers know and have the correct information. And then once they do approve somebody to meet the criteria for local priority, we will ensure that we are currently looking over at that wait list and monitoring the progress of those individuals and determining whether or not they would remain on the wait list, or perhaps they've found other opportunities, or perhaps they've had other recovery strategies come to light that would preclude them moving through this system.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, the recommendation is that the manager of the manager of community housing monthly report be accepted. All in favor? Carried.
We still need a mover and a seconder for that.
Can I get a mover, please? Moved by the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Killaloo Haggerty Richards. Now, all in favor? Carried. First day at the job here. There is no new business. I recommend that this meeting be adjourned. Moved by member from Pembroke, seconded by the member from Head Clamoraya. All in favor? Carried. This meeting is adjourned. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Community Services Committee. It is 1:45, and roll call, please. Evelyn, has roll call stayed the same?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Everything is the same. We have quorum.
Thank you. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? I see none. I have a recommendation that the minutes of the October 16th, 2024 meeting be approved. Could I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Killaloe Haggerty Richards. All in favor? Carried. Recommendation that the minutes of the October 30th, 2024 meeting be approved of the Community Services Committee. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by the member from Head Claremoraya, seconded by the member from Petawawa. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. There are no delegations. We'll get the director's report for the Community Services Department, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to the committee. Good afternoon again. Information item number 1 in my report is the Treasurer's Report for the Community Services Department as of September 30th, 2024. This is the first attachment in Diligent, and just taking you through a few high-level notes, really looking at the childcare and community housing divisions. They're slightly overspent, but pretty much right on track for their spending. The Ontario Works Department is underspent by about $550,000. Primarily, that is through the Ontario Works Program Administration. There have been a few staffing turnovers and some delays in getting backfills in place, which have added to the underspending. In addition, there was some one-time funding that, in the amount of $280,000, that we were fortunate to receive from the province of Ontario for some special projects, and we are expecting some expenditures that will go out in the fourth quarter related to that special project. So that was relating to some of our digitization of files, which is still underway, as well as the one phone number for community services, which has just been implemented. So we do expect that Ontario Works will maybe still be underspent at the end of the year, but it's not as significantly as it's showing at this time. Moving on to information item number 2, this is a good news story. The County of Renfrew has been awarded an Ontario Municipal Social Services Award for the MESA initiative. Mr. Craig Kelly, our CAO, was nominated as a local municipal champion for this award through OMSA for his leadership and vision in implementing the MESA initiative. Mr. Kelly recognized a need for members of a senior leadership team to change their practices, break down silos, integrate service delivery, and work collaboratively in order to better utilize the resources within the County of Renfrew and to partner with community agencies to better serve the population experiencing mental health, addictions, and homelessness challenges. So we're very pleased that along with our CAO's leadership and council's direction, that we have been seeing some great work and some headway with our MESA initiative, and very pleased to be recognized through OMSA, and the County of Renfrew has been invited to speak at their OMSA Exchange Conference, which will be taking place in Toronto on May 13th and 14th of 2025. And I'll stop there, Chair, before moving on to resolutions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on the Treasurer's report? Seeing none. Item number 2, the Ontario Municipal Social Services Association Award. Congratulations to Mr. Kelly and to all the staff. I know this was very much a collaborative effort. Would you like to speak to this?
No, thank you for, we are the sum of our parts, and there's no one individual at all on this one, and I reiterate that regularly, and I'm just the fellow who puts things together. But really, it's all the directors and all the staff and in the frontline folks that are out working this on a regular basis. We heard earlier today at a health committee, I happened to read an excerpt from Inspector Neufeld from the Upper Ottawa Valley Detachment on a recent email exchange on the opioid crisis, and he was very supportive of MESA and the work being done by the frontline folks. That his statisticians or his analysts are saying we're in Pembroke down to one encampment that he's aware of from where we were. So the MESA team, Andrea's team, and Jennifer's team, and everybody from paramedic service down to our MESA coordinator, Barb Tierney, is doing a fabulous job. And this is, in how many months? a few short months, it would seem, have really pulled something together that is unheard of in Ontario. So congratulations to all.
Thank you. And once again, member, yes. For sure. Absolutely. Member from Pembroke, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to congratulate the team members. Obviously, that you've been asked to speak at the conference in itself says that there's a great deal of respect for the team here in Renfrew County. And I'm really, as a representative from the city of Pembroke, I'm really proud to be sitting around this table, and hopefully that we'll continue in the wonderful relationship that we've had to help others. So thank you for helping the folks that are down on their luck. You know, they need a hand up. They don't need to be repressed. And I think the MESA team and all the partners are working together. Thank you, Mr. Kelly, and to everyone in the county. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. And it is good to see that you're getting the recognition so deserved. Any other comments on this? No? Okay, we'll continue with resolutions, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to committee. So item number 3, resolution, Rural Ontario Municipal Association, ROMA delegation request. And I'll go ahead and read the recommendation, Chair. So the recommendation is that the Community Services Committee recommends to County Council that delegation requests be submitted for the 2025 Rural Ontario Municipal Association, ROMA Conference, to number 1, the Ministry of Education to advocate for the County of Renfrew to be allocated additional spaces within the Canada-wide early learning and childcare system. 2, the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services to discuss the Ontario Works financial assistance rates, which have not been increased since 2018. And 3, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing to seek additional homelessness prevention program, HPP funds, to assist with builds, homelessness, and other initiatives. And that the chair of the standing committee, along with the warden, be designated to attend the delegation.
Thank you. Could I get a mover and a seconder for this? Moved by the member from Killaloo Haggerty Richards, seconded by the member from Headclar Mariah. Questions or comments? I certainly have one. Over the weekend, as the Mayor of Laurentian Hills, I received a letter from the Deep Roots Nursery School in Chalk River, and they must close their doors as of January 1st due to the reduction in the funding for their daycare. They are not, they did not opt out into CWELC, and this is the consequences that we were afraid of. At the last meeting, we mentioned there were 3 in Renfrew County, so this is the first to say that they will be closing their doors. This is the loss of 16 spaces, and in a municipality of 3,000 people, that is very significant to us. I know that at our last meeting, we did say that we would be writing a letter to the minister. No, it wasn't going to the minister. I believe it was going to the deputy minister. But I don't know that there's much more we can do. I know we've had conversations about the spaces that are available and that we haven't been granted any for 25, 26. So there's just no way out of this, seemingly. We've been told that possibly we could get spaces that are allocated to other areas in Ontario, but as of yet, we've got nothing. We've had no response. So I don't know, to tell these people, you know, we're talking to the minister, we're doing this, we're requesting a delegation, which will be great, but it will be too late for these 3, you know, and specifically this one center. I don't know if there's any comments, or I don't know what else we can do.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to committee. Just by way of, you know, some additional background, certainly echo all of your comments. Chair, just to confirm, we had sent, the warden had sent a letter to Minister Dunlop on October 1st, 2024, that was, you know, in follow-up, I guess, to the AMO delegation, but also highlighting the 3 non-CWELC centers in the county of Renfrew, one being Deep Roots, the other being Child's Paradise in Renfrew, and the other Kinder Connection in Petawawa, and indicating to the minister that, you know, as a result of them being unable to opt into CWELC and having their operating and other sources of funding discontinued at the end of the year, that they were really at risk of not able to continue to be viable. and as well expressing to the minister some of the opportunities that we're seeing for further growth in the area of childcare and really wanting to work on additional growth, but needing the additional CWELC spaces. As the chair had noted, we have recently learned that, in fact, as we were concerned about, that Deep Roots is going to have to be closing at the end of the year as a result of being unable to maintain viability given the new funding formula and the inability for us to fund them with some of their operating funding past the end of the year.
Member from Killaloo Haggerty Richards, please.
Thank you, Chair. So 16 kids in one location. Do you know a cumulative throughout the province how many actual kids are going to be affected? Has that come out yet?
Through you, Chair, to the committee. I don't have those numbers. That's not something that we've been privy to at this point, but I certainly can ask some questions and see if any data has been gathered. What I'd also like to just add in terms of the conversation is that the ministry has provided us with the opportunity, us as well as all of the other municipality service managers throughout the province, to provide them with some data in terms of where each municipality stands in terms of the number of spaces they were allocated for the life of this agreement, which is 2022 to the end of 2026, where we're at with spaces, where the pressures are in terms of asks for new spaces. And so that was October 11th, that was due back to them. So we certainly did let them know where we stand, and we have asked for quite a number of new spaces, including the opportunity for the three non-CWELC sites to potentially, be a part of that system, and some other projects that we know are pending if we had some spaces. So what we do know is that the ministry has indicated to us that they will be looking at a recalibration of any spaces that could be distributed throughout the province. I don't know what the process is for that or a timeline at this point. They haven't given us that, but just wanted to add that has happened recently. So we're hopeful that we will get some answers and maybe some more spaces, but anything else that we can do is greatly appreciated.
Supplemental.
Thank you, Chair. I know for in our communities, 16 is an awful lot, but in the grand scheme of things in the province of Ontario, maybe 16 doesn't really mean squat to them. But for our 16 kids, go for the juggler and let's get it done. Like, put on the best case. I know you will. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm thinking that of these 16 with so many companies, and because Laurentian Hills has Garrison Petawawa and CNL as our largest employers, and many people are able to work from home now. So what is to stop these parents from saying, well, I'm going to move to the city, or I'm moving somewhere where there's more, where I can get childcare? And that's the one of the scary parts of it, is we're going to start losing our residents because we've got no spots. So it'll be calling on ministers and local MPPs' doors saying, we need this resolved, and we need it now. Stats later will show that there are spots that are not used, but we can't use them.
Unfortunately, though, those 16 kids are suffering.
Absolutely.
They'd made a decision, and they were well notified prior to this. Now the reality is there's 16 kids. That's the bottom line, just in our communities. Yeah, and all the employees that work there as well, shutting down. Yep. Okay. Any other question? Member from Petawawa, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. Just for statistical purposes, how many spots are there in Kinder Connection, and what was the name of the other one in Renfrew, and how many spots are there? And have those two facilities indicated that they are going to be forced to shut down on January 1st?
Through you, Chair, to the committee, thank you for the question. So I can indicate that Kinder Connection has a licensed capacity of 24 spaces, and Child's Paradise, so just to clarify, Child's Paradise has 2 locations. One is at Renfrew County Place, which was enrolled in CWELC, and then they opened a second location at Mattaway in Renfrew, and that location was not able to be included due to the lack of spaces. So their licensed capacity is 82. 67 of those spaces are CWELC because of the age groups. So the total of the 3 centers is 107 spaces. So in terms of your second part of your question, I have spoken with all 3 of the centers, the operators. Kinder Connection has certainly indicated some concern about what they're going to do into 2025. Child's Paradise has not had that conversation with me directly at this point, but certainly know that it is a challenge and it will be a bit of a struggle.
Supplemental, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. Has this been brought to the attention of our local MPP?
Through you, Chair, I can indicate that I know that the centers themselves have been in touch with the local MPP. I have not, to my knowledge, we have not at this point, but we certainly could take a look.
He's been copied on the letter. Yeah, he's aware.
He's copied on the letter. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, I guess we go on. Ms. Patrick, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to the committee. Just one other piece of background on this item, just to share, and I know Councillor Nicholson was not able to be with us today, but in follow-up to one of the pieces that we heard at the AMO delegation, one of the pieces that Minister Dunlop and her staff had presented to us was to investigate some of the spaces that have already been attached to new builds that are coming up in the system, and just to let this committee know that we have completed that review. There is a new school build that we have confirmed that it will be completed within the CWELC agreement, so those spaces are needing to stay attached to that particular build. So I can certainly, say with an exclamation point at the end of it that Ms. Smith's team has been, turning over every rock and stone to try to identify ways that we can, both help these centers that are at risk of closure, as well as provide some support to some of the other new initiatives that we're hearing about, where people are wanting to open centers and wanting to grow on the childcare system. And so just to note that all of the spaces that we have been given are accounted for within the 2022 to 2026 agreement. Thank you.
Yes, and I thank Ms. Smith for sure. I'm sure it's hard when your hands are so tied, right? You can only do so much with so many spaces, and I appreciate your work, but it's still very frustrating, I'm sure. Okay, I guess we continue on with any other questions on this item? And we'll call for the vote. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll continue with the community supports report, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to the committee. Unfortunately, Ms. Muldoon was not able to be with us today, so I'll overview her report for committee today. So there are 4 information items in the community supports report. Information item number 1 is the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness National Conference 2024. So this is an annual national conference that's held with respect to homelessness. Last year it took place in Halifax. This year we were fortunate that it took place close to home in Ottawa, so we were able to send a fair number of people, and you'll see from the report we were able to have our MESA coordinator as well as staff from both the community supports and the emergency services departments in attendance. The conference was apparently excellent. I know that in conversations with the MESA coordinator there was a lot of information learned and a lot of great great information brought back to share with the team. There were over 250 guest speakers at this event, covering 15 diverse streams of content. So everything from research and policy to data management to healthcare and homelessness to leadership and change management. So it was a really great experience, and a lot that was brought back in terms of some of the initiatives that are being looked at across the province, as well as sharing some of our own successes in Renfrew County. Information item number 2 is the Ontario Works caseload statistics. So you'll note, the first column is the caseload statistics. The second column notes the total, including the beneficiaries. So an Ontario Works caseload is representative of one family unit. So of course, the caseload of 1185 does represent 1962 family members that staff are supporting within those households. And you'll just note the comparison. The caseload is up from where it was in 2023. Item number 3 is the by name list data. So this is the homelessness enumeration. So you'll note that currently there are 37 individuals that are on our by name list, so that are registered as being homeless throughout Renfrew County. Some of these individuals could be supported by us in temporary motel stays or other supports with the BESA team, but are not in a permanent housing situation at this time. So 25 of those are chronically homeless, meaning they've been homeless for 6 months or longer, and 12 are not chronic, so less than 6 months. And you'll see the age category is represented in the next chart, and the majority of individuals who are homeless are between the ages of 30 and 64 years of age. And the last item is some data around the integrated employment services. So first column talks about the common assessments and the social assistance action plans. So this is the information that is completed by Ontario Works staff with ongoing clients to assess their needs and their goals and some of their skills, and in order to help form an action plan. So for individuals where the common assessment module 1 is completed, where they're showing as being ready for employment, they are then referred to Employment Ontario offices, where Employment Ontario caseworkers would complete module 2. And this is what is then denoted as the integrated employment services model, as both social assistance caseworkers and Employment Ontario caseworkers can access the common software to be updating information about activities being undertaken and job readiness supports. And so it notes that to date, 310 individuals through our office have been referred to Employment Ontario, and there are 4 Employment Ontario offices across Renfrew County, being PMFRC in Petawawa, Algonquin College, Employment Ontario in Pembroke, and then there are on-track offices in Renfrew and Arnprior. And some of the employment benefits noted there, these would be funding that would be issued to individuals who are actively job searching or preparing for employment. And there are some other types of employment-related expenses that can be issued for Ontario Works clients who are not ready for employment and who are doing life stabilization planning. So those figures are not represented there. This is the dollars that have been issued as supplementary funds for individuals that are more actively preparing for employment. And so I'll note, I think maybe in the October meeting, Ms. Muldoon had brought some information forward about the Ontario Works performance targets for 2025 as set by the province, and one of those was that 100% of common assessments and action plans for active clients be completed by the end of 2025. So you'll note that there are 734 common assessments outstanding and 504 social assistance action plans outstanding that will be worked on throughout 2025. And I will stop there, Chair, but happy to answer any questions that the committee may have. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go back to information item number 1, the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness National Conference 2024. Any questions or comments? Item number 2, Ontario Works caseload statistics. The numbers keep going up. Yeah. Item number 3, the by name list data. Item 4, the integrated employment services. Seeing none, okay, we'll continue on with the Children's Services report, please, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to committee. Good afternoon, committee members. My first 4 information items are related to Children's Services statistics running from January until the end of September 2024. Information item number 1, licensed child care center statistics. So this chart is showing the total number of child care centers in the County of Renfrew, licensed spaces versus operating spaces, and total children served. I wanted to note just a couple of things. You will notice that there was a new center opened in August. This is the second location for Child's Paradise at Mattaway Center that I was referencing earlier. They are licensed for 82 new spaces and are slowly working on building their capacity. There are also some lower operating numbers in July and August, and this is as a result of some centers don't run summer programming. So you'll see that that went back up in September. This is also where I believe the chair was referencing earlier, the discrepancy between the licensed spaces and the operating spaces we've discussed in previous meetings comes down to a number of things. One of the biggest items is the staffing challenges that are being faced throughout the county and throughout the province in terms of early childhood educators. What I wanted to clarify in terms of the issue that we're facing with the lack of CWELC spaces is that CWELC spaces are allocated based on licensed capacity because there is the opportunity for those centers to go up to that licensed capacity. So there's no opportunity for us to utilize the discrepancy in these spaces to pull for other projects or other centers that might want to opt in. So I just wanted to clarify that piece and happy to answer any other questions a little bit later if that comes up. Information item number 2, licensed home child care agency statistics. This chart shows the statistics for the 2 licensed home child care agencies in the county, one run by the PMFRC and one run by us here at the county. Each agency did have a home close over the summer. One has reopened in September. The other is still closed with PMFRC, but may be reopening very soon. Information item number 3, Canada-wide early learning and childcare statistics. So this chart is showing data related to the CWELC system in the County of Renfrew, which again applies to children until they turn age 6. You will notice that the number of centers not enrolled in CWELC increased from 2 to 3 in August, and again, that's the Child's Paradise Mattaway location. As we know, we weren't able to approve them into the CWELC system due to that lack of spaces, despite their desire to be a part of the system, of course. Information item number 4, inclusion services statistics. This chart is showing the total number of children served who require inclusion services to support them in their licensed childcare programs. And information item number 5, childcare worker and early childhood educator appreciation day. So October 24th was the celebration of the 24th annual Childcare Worker and Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day, and we hear often about the challenges with staffing in the childcare and early years sector throughout the province, and we certainly know how hard the staff work in providing quality care and programming for the children in the County of Renfrew. So having a dedicated day to show special recognition and appreciation to all of them is greatly deserved. And that concludes my report, Chair.
Thank you. We'll go back to information item number 1, the licensed child care center statistics. Thank you for clarifying that, Ms. Smith. Any questions or comments on this? No. Item number 2, the licensed home child care agency statistics. No. Item 3, the Canada-wide early learning and child care statistics. No. Item 4, the inclusion services statistics. And item 5, the Child Care Worker and Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day. And it is good that you do get appreciated because I know the work that these people do is so important and not the easiest, I'm sure, on the best of days. Okay. Recommendation that the Community Services Department reports be accepted. All in mover by member from Killaloe Haggerty Richards, seconded by the member from Pembroke. All in favor? Carried. Okay. We have nothing for new business. No. Could I get a move and a second for adjournment, please? Moved by the member from Petawawa, seconded by the member from Headclar Mariah. All in favor? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.